Hello and welcome to today's lesson on contextualizing, how to read the source information. I'm coming to you live from Battle Day, which is why I have this makeup on my face. Battle Day Extreme. So today we're going to learn how to read some source information when we contextualize. Now remember, contextualizing is when you say when and where a source came from and whether it's primary or secondary. So when you contextualize, usually after you write your key idea and before you write your evidence. So if I have my example, Ramses the Great deserved to be called great because he built large temples. Then I contextualize my evidence. I say, according to a modern photograph of the Ramesseum, a secondary source created by Tor Egypt. So you can see I'm telling you where the source from, the title, whether it's primary or secondary, and the author. Then I put my quote from that source, which is my copied and pasted sentence with quotation marks. So when you read a source, how do you find out the contextualizing information? Let's take a look at source document B, an anonymous description of the Battle of Kadesh. So in this source, I can see the source information's at the bottom. It's usually in this kind of slanted writing that's called italics, but you'll notice because it'll be separate from the rest of the text. So if I take a look at this, I want to figure out who created it, when it was created, and if it's primary or secondary. So first I want to look at who created it. Do I see a name there? Or do I see the name of like a website or some other book publisher? I don't see any person's name, but I do see it says speaker unknown. And it was carved on the walls by this speaker unknown. So I'm going to write down unknown speaker for my who created. And I'm going to look at when it was created, what year, or if there's no year, what time period. In this case, I'm lucky because there is a year, so I can say 1250 BCE. Finally, I want to say whether it's primary or secondary. So if you need a quick refresher, remember, primary sources are sources that were created by someone who was there at the time or event. Things like a letter or a photograph that was taken at that time, or carved hieroglyphics, an artifact that you can hold in your hand that's from that time period. Secondary sources are created by someone who was not there during that time. So this could be like a movie about ancient Egypt that was made in the 2000s. It could be a textbook that we use today about the past. It could be a newspaper written at the same time an event happened, but by someone who wasn't at that event, like a sports game. So if I come back to my source, I can assume that it's a primary source because it was written during the time that Ramses was alive, and therefore they could have, and it was written on the temple during the time when the temple was built, so they could have seen what happened. So now when I want to contextualize it, I'm going to use that information in this sentence starter, according to blank, which is a blank source by blank. So first I want to put in the title, according to the title, which is a primary source, and then I want to put in the name of the author, or in this case, unknown speaker. So I end up with, according to anonymous description of the Battle of Kadesh, which is a primary source by an unknown speaker, comma, and then I would put my quote. Do not, I repeat, do not put document B. That is not the title of the source. That doesn't tell you anything about it except a random letter. You want to put in the title of the source as it is given. So now it's your turn. Let's take a look at some example sources and see if we can practice contextualizing them. So for this example, take a look at the source, figure out who created it, when it was created, if it was primary or secondary. For this, and now you're going to complete a contextualizing sentence starter. According to, which is a blank source by blank. Second example, take a look at the source information up top and see if you can figure out who created it, when it was created, and if it was primary or secondary. Go ahead and fill out the blanks so you can practice contextualizing the source. All right, you are all done with learning how to contextualize. Good luck.